Now the election is over. Not much, not many dramatics on election night. 1 minute after 8, they announced Phil Murphy was the new governor of New Jersey. So Guru, Phil Murphy campaigned on huge tax increases. We continue to hear about the first thing that they would like to do is a millionaire's tax, so forth and so on. He's also talked about legalizing marijuana as a revenue source. So can legalizing marijuana offset potential huge tax increases?
Well, let me say this. It is very clear that a new era is about to begin in the state of New Jersey. And I just want to say, I've said it before, and I know he's unpopular right now, but people are going to miss Chris Christie. Now, maybe not personally, but I think as far as his policies and what he did and making every effort possible to keep taxes down in New Jersey, which is a very, very tall order, I think what he was able to do during his governorship is going to be looked at favorably over time based upon where we very well may be headed related to tax increases. And you're right, the governor-elect, Phil Murphy, is promising to raise taxes, and that it is unconscionable to me in a state like New Jersey how any politician, I do not care what party they belong to, with a promise to raise taxes, and I don't care where they're raising them, even just we're going to raise taxes on the rich. It's mind-boggling to me that we could elect anyone who would be promising that. But here in New Jersey, we've done just that. So you have a lot of promises, of course, during the campaign that were made by Phil Murphy, and those promises relate to more spending. So there are going to be tax increases because there's going to be an increase in spending. You know, this is really going to be an interesting scenario for the next 4 years, because you also have a Democratic legislature that you would think, for the most part, is going to be in agreement with a governor who is also a Democratic. It belongs to the Democratic Party. So in spite of the legalization of marijuana, that's, I think, pretty sure is going to be coming, there are not going to be any tax cuts. There's not going to be any cuts in spending, by the way. So we're just talking about spend. So it's going to take a while before we see the fiscal benefits of a marijuana tax. And I would say it won't be until probably mid-2019 before a legalization program is fully implemented, where it's being sold for recreational purposes. That's really what we're talking about here, King, is that the governor-elect is going to make marijuana legal for recreational purposes, and that's obviously where the big benefit is related to collecting more taxes. So let's put aside the moral issues and really focus in on the economics, because there are people who are against it because they feel it's a gateway drug and all these other things and societal issues. But we need to talk about this from a different perspective, because it will generate more tax revenue, and it will create more jobs. Those things are going to happen because there are huge taxes placed on the sale of marijuana. For example, in Washington State, the tax on marijuana is 37%. In California, it's 15%. And California believes that sales tax for marijuana is gonna reach $1 billion in taxes over time. So that's significant. So if people really want more and more from government, states are going to need to figure out how to collect more taxes. And you could only tax the rich so much, and that's a finite pool. So I think once we go down this road, there's no going back. So if marijuana becomes legal in New Jersey for recreational purposes, I think it's here to stay, and I think we're going to be on to see what is going to be the next thing that's going to be legalized and taxed. Whether that's online gambling and whether that's prostitution or whatever else it could possibly be, because unless Government King is going to cut back on spending, it just means that we're going to have to find new ways to tax. I think marijuana is the beginning of that process. I don't know where it'll lead to from a societal standpoint, but it will create more taxes, and then we'll have to see where it falls out from there.